things are looking bleak right now with Bitcoin, especially with altcoins and US markets. But I'm here to say this is not time to be panicking about Bitcoin. But you can see right now, US market is looking bad, especially NASDAQ. NASDAQ down almost a full percent. And right now, Tesla is down 8%. I think they are definitely making a lot of people worried about our economy. NASDAQ is getting killed. Tesla is getting killed. And unfortunately, others are being dragged down with it. Bitcoin is also down slightly versus yesterday, but overall we are below that 30,000 mark. So what is going on? It's kind of getting scary again, a little bit. Is it time to be panicking about Bitcoin? Well, my response to that is no. No. And here's why. We tend to see Bitcoin go up and down. There's always volatility. There's always volatility. Even when we were at 30,000, someone asked, aren't you afraid we might go down to 28,000, right? I'm like, yeah, it can happen, right? Short term, anything can happen. But long term, nothing has changed. I pulled up the fear and greed index because I wanted to see how people were thinking, what the sentiment is. Last month, last week, even yesterday, we were still in greed mode. All of a sudden, we dropped 10 points down to neutral. Even yesterday, we were greedy, and now we're not, right? It's funny how fast things turn. But if you're focusing on the next few years, the next 5 years, next 10 years, you'll be feeling the greed also, because there's just really nothing that compares to Bitcoin. There's just nothing like it. But in the meantime, because of this little dip, we have 300 million of longs liquidated. That's no good. I keep warning you guys about using leverage. Maybe some of you guys are trading experts, and maybe you're using stop losses. But still, for vast majority of people that are playing leverage, it's just like playing the lottery. It's like gambling. People just throw on a 100x long or a 50x long thinking that they will outsmart the market. And then this happens. You get all these longs liquidated. You have a long squeeze, and it contributes to the downfall of Bitcoin. It's no good, and exchanges just profit the fees, right? So 300 million within a matter of days gone. That sucks. That sucks. So just be careful of that. I think a lot of you guys know or may not know that Tesla does own a significant amount of Bitcoin. And once upon a time, it was a lot more, but he decided to sell off a little bit. Actually, a lot, because he said he needed the money at the time, right? But he still holds a significant amount, close to $200 million worth of Bitcoin. And that has not changed, despite the fact that this quarter, their earnings and revenue went down about 20%. He still did not just sell off Bitcoin because of that. Elon at heart is a Bitcoin guy. He has said so before, even though he likes to troll and likes to support and rile up, Dogecoin, right? But he has said many times he holds a lot more Bitcoin than he holds Doge, and he holds a lot of Ethereum too, right? He truly believes that Bitcoin is better than fiat. And it's not just Tesla. Look at this. Look at this. This is a huge number of companies that hold a significant amount of Bitcoin. Of course, the number one company that holds the biggest amount of Bitcoin is MicroStrategy. 140,000. Even right now, it's still worth $4 billion. But many others in here, they hold a significant amount of Bitcoin, and none of these guys are selling. That's the commonality. No one wants to sell Bitcoin. And then you have countries, even China has close to 200,000 Bitcoin. Think about that. And you got ETFs, you got all these. Grayscale holds 640,000 Bitcoins. None of these guys are selling. No one is selling. They're only accumulating more and more and more. In fact, out of the list, they hold about 7.8% of the total supply of 21 million. And we don't even have 21 million, okay? That's how scarce Bitcoin is. These big guys, big players, institutions, whales, they're loading up. That is something that we need to replicate. Robert Kiyosaki also says that Bitcoin will keep going up because the government will keep printing fake money and keep robbing people of their wealth. That's why he believes not only Bitcoin, he's a big gold and silver guy too. He believes it is definitely time to be stocking up in Bitcoin, gold, and silver. You don't want none of that fake money that the Fed keeps printing. He has a point. He has a point. But going back to the charts, you know, Stock Money Lizards, I should bring up the other one because he kind of predicted this a few days ago where he said, well, Bitcoin is most likely going to come back down to this previous support level and then continue back up again. Right? I actually showed that a couple days ago, and I'm sure he's not the only one that was looking at that. And yeah, okay, we came back down, right? But we're still holding at that resistance, or the resistance turned support, right? So that's pretty good. But also, you know what? History doesn't repeat, but it tends to rhyme. You know, I'm seeing a lot of this right now. On the left side is 2023, obviously, and the right side is actually 2020. I've seen a lot of fractal patterns that compare our movement now to 2019, but if you look at 2020, it's actually so similar. If you look at the way Bitcoin dropped down in 2020, it was the COVID crash, the pandemic crash, right? But a quick V-shaped recovery. Then we kind of bounced up a little bit, retested that support, and then continue forward. That's what it's looking like right now. Exactly. You know, we see a lot of this. We see a lot of patterns, and there's just so many of these that support the narrative that yes, we have entered the new era, the new cycle. These drops that you notice are, you know, tens of thousands. That's when you really notice it on a grand scale. But when you zoom out, it's really hard to notice any of the day-to-day stuff. Each one of these candles is a whole month, right? And so far we had, I would say, 3 good candles. This may be the 4th one if we can end up in the green, but something that has never happened before, and that is if we cross the 21-month moving average, we have never made a new low after that. And we are above it, okay? That's very important. So we are on our way, heading upwards. Who knows? Who knows? A lot of people are predicting within the next 3 months, going into July, we could see as high as 40, 50,000. Some people think that we could be at an all-time high by the end of the year. But maybe none of these things happen. Maybe we just go sideways for a little bit. That would be okay. But if Bitcoin went sideways and we ended the year maybe at 40,000, 50,000 by the end of the year, that is still a win.